Hello and welcome back to Project Zomboid. So, in between episodes here, I've read the entirety of the Carpentry for Beginners book. So, we're going to unpause and we are going to put that book away so that it's not taking up weight in our inventory. Alright, so let's see what else we got. Plenty of space there. Just the basic tools we need. We need to get that annotated map out of the way. Alright. And as you can see, I'm starting to get a little bit bored. It is unpleasantly hot out because now it is daytime since it took so long to read the book. Which is good because we'd rather be walking around in the day anyway. Alright, so we're going to come back over here, pick up our logs again. Hopefully fit more of them into this better backpack. So that it'll weigh us down less. Alright, we got 2 of them in this time, so that is technically more. So we're still going to wind up overweight trying to carry all 4 of these. Alright, so we're going to mosey on over this way. Now, the question is do we want to basically build into this wall? We could. It would save us a little bit of time. That's going to, I think, be determined by if there is a window. There does not appear to be a window in that wall. So, we're going to go ahead and save ourselves a little bit of time and effort here. What we're going to do is go carpentry, wall, log wall. We have all the stuff we need for a log wall segment. Now, how do I rotate this? There we go. It's R. We're going to want you right there. And voila, we have just built we've built a log wall. So what's that mean? Well, that means it's a player-built wall segment that, zombies won't be able to just walk past. They'll be able to beat on it, maybe destroy it, but they won't be able to just arbitrarily walk in like apparently these zombies here are doing. Talk about timing. Like, look at this. They're just kinda here all of a sudden. Earbuds, you don't need that. Bam. Beat you to death. Alright. Beat you to death. So these zombies are just kind of trickling in. And we'd like to stop that. We would like them to not just be able to freely wander in, like that one. Or the one behind it. Why are all these zombies wandering in here? There might be a change that happened to their AI, because this is not something that would have normally happened like this. Alright, that one's dead. You, please go down as well. Come on. Come on. Die already. Alright. So, let's check and loot the bodies. Alright, doesn't really seem to be too much of interest. There's not often anything of interest, but it pays the check sometimes. Alright. So, you're probably saying, why don't you just block up this hole, since that seems to be where most of them are wandering in? Well, what I want to do is level my carpentry up first and put a doorway in that hole, so I can still go out, and it'll stop them from wandering in so much. Yeah, they'll be able to beat on the door and such, but it'll stem the tide, while still allowing me access out that way. So I'm going to do that by basically building these log walls, maybe working on some, boards, things like that. So as you can see, we're now getting this big bonus on our carpentry. So we get a ×3 multiplier from reading the book. Our plus 75% XP bonus is from our profession. So we're getting a good boost to carpentry. We're gonna wind up needing the next tier up skill book before too long, but it's okay at the moment. We'll worry about that hurdle when we get there. So what we might want to do is, since it'll allow us to move a little bit faster, we're going to take these logs, put them in there. Okay, so now we're going to walk over to where we're going to be building our wall. Right on over here. All right. And then we're going to drop the logs on the ground. And walk back. The major downside to this particular type of wall is the fact that logs are heavy. I mean, they're way heavier than the planks you would need to build a similar sized wall. But it's also cheaper on materials-ish, in so much as you don't use nails. And I think that ultimately they are also stronger than the equivalent, level of proper wall. So it'll do a little bit better job of keeping the zombies out. So I think I might actually scale my project down slightly, since this is going to take forever. So alright, so I can stand here, and since these are in range to be used, it should allow me to build another section of wall. Excellent. We can just pop that right there, and it'll use the logs off the ground since they're within reach. There we go. And how are we doing on our rip sheets? So we're halfway through the rip sheets that we already got, because these use 4 apiece, and you get 8 from a piece of clothing. So all these zombies' clothing are going to be turned into wall. A fairly efficient use at that. Alright, so I'm going to come back over here, cut down another tree. So we're getting these tree branches and stuff as well as the logs, but we're not really that heavy in need of them. So I think what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to see if it's going to be faster for me to walk over slowly. So I can now take these 2, put them in my regular inventory, be weighed down, but only have to make 1 trip. So we're going to see how that works out for us. See, we're under extreme heavy load and it's making us more exhausted. It might be better to do the 2 trips. It's not something I had really timed out or anything like that. I haven't done the math on this, which is why I'm kind of just doing it now, seeing if I can figure out which way is going to work a little bit better. And it's looking like the 2 trips might be more worth it. Because, I mean, look at how slow we're moving. Just ridiculously slow. Alright, we should be able to go log wall right there. And it'll take us over there to do it. And 3rd section. Okay. But see, we're exerted now. We're not to the point of exertion that it's, negatively impacting us, but that's basically just a little bit of a warning of, hey, you should probably stop exerting yourself so much or you're going to get to that point. So I might, like I said, scale this down a bit. Let's take a quick look at our skills. How is that advanced a little bit? So we're actually about 1/3 of the way through the carpentry that we have available. We're about 1/3 of the way through using up our boost, basically. Let's cut down this tree. Now, one of the other things that can be done to up our skill quickly is actually just sawing logs into boards. But since we have a need for the logs, it's a little bit more efficient to do this. Just a tiny amount, because this is actually giving us progress on our project as opposed to just making a pile of boards, which will be useful, but less immediately. So I'm basically just trying to get as advanced on this as I can, and I don't have 4 logs, I only have 2. So I should drop those over here, in range of where our next wall segment is going to be. Now, I could do this in a lot of, like, pre-planning. Like, I could go and lay out a bunch of 4 sections of walls and then do it all at once. But, like I said, it's one of those things where we're making slow but steady advancement, as opposed to, like, prepping and then making a bunch of advancement at once. It's, 12 of one, half dozen of another, basically. But this one is allowing us to have sections of this wall without having used up nails. Now, I don't think it's very much in the land of nails, so with the fact that there are hundreds of them, it is totally a viable thing to just use them. But keep in mind that this is just going to be the very first, like, innermost layer of our defenses. So we are going to have a large amount of stuff to do. It's best to conserve resources where you can, basically, because you're never going to be totally sure if you can, have the, resources in the future. So, wooden wall frame. Well, that's different. I need to have level 2 carpentry in order to do that anyway, so I can't even make it now if I wanted. Because it used to be wooden stake, wooden fence. Okay. Limited protection from the hoards. Yeah, so it used to just be you would build wall sections. Now it's a wall frame. This is obviously a change that happened at some point when I wasn't playing the game constantly. So, who knows? It might actually be beneficial to do that now, but for the moment, at least, I'm going to stick with what I know. At the very least, I'm going to complete in log this section of wall between here and the fence. I'm going to do, at the very least, that. So we're going to come over here to one of our zombies and tell it to... Sure, why not? Well, yeah, that's 5. They each have 2 pieces of clothing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just make sure that it's not ripping any of our clothing, because that used to be a bug. Like, I don't know if it was a bug or if it was working as intended, but if you told it to, rip all, it would include the ones that you were wearing, which was not so great. Alright, so we're sitting here, we're crafting. Haven't seen any new zombies in a while, which is fine. It's well and good. Alright, we done? That appears to be us done. Alright, so those zombies are down to shoes. And the one of them had a pen, but... Alright, so we've got 80 ripped sheets now. Which I think is... Whew, that's a... Let's see. That's almost a pound of weight. Let's go ahead and... Well, alright, so here what we're going to do is... We're going to chop down this tree. We're going to take these logs, put them in the bag. Then we're going to take these ripped sheets and put as many of them in the bag as it'll let us. It might be all of them. Nope, see, there we go. Alright, so we are encumbered once again, because we have so many ripped sheets on us. But as we work, that will get slightly better. We're having that warning of exertion thing going on again. It's drowsy. Okay, drowsy's not too terrible. We don't want things to get too far along on that front, however. Oh yeah, drop these logs. And work back. So, one of the things about this game is there is a lot of repetitive, busy work, especially, like, in this, like, not... It's I won't really call it an intermediate stage. This is, like, late beginning. Alright, so this is still very much the beginning of the game, but it is the late part of the beginning, where you're securing your first base and just trying to, make some place that is relatively safe from the zombie masses. So there's a lot of repetitive stuff, especially here and through the intermediate stage. Once we get into like end game, it's not so much because it starts to revolve a lot more around uh, going far from your base and looting, and then bringing the stuff back. I mean, that's kind of the late intermediate to the late stage, is because you get yourself to the point where you are rather desperate to find any of the few things that you still happen to need to make yourself sustainable. Because this is a totally sustainable game. It at least was, unless they've changed things and broken it somehow, uh, at a stage where you could live perpetually, provided you avoid dying from the zombies. Because even on the default settings, there's only so many zombies that will spawn on the map at once. The horde will only get so large. It will continue to repopulate, but if you keep thinning them out, you're going to be all right. How is our exertion doing? High exertion can barely run. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to rest. We're not sleeping, we're resting. So it allows us to basically get rid of this exertion debuff. So we're going to speed things up a little, but not to the max. And get rid of this exertion. I would really like to have a watch so I can see what time it is, but it's just not something we've found yet. Alright. So we've gotten rid of the debuff. We're going to wait here just a little bit longer. We're about halfway through what we're allowed to rest anyway. There we go. Alright, so we're fully rested. I'm not certain, but I think that while you're resting, it pauses your actual getting tired. It doesn't do anything to help it, but it stops it from getting worse while you're resting. Alright, so, once again, knock down a tree, pick up the logs. So the twigs and the branches and stuff are useful for other things. However, we are rather fortunate in that... there we go. In that we have found all the tools we need, because we could use our foraging skills to basically replace the fire axe and the hammer with primitive versions. We'd still need a saw. No matter what, you have to find a saw. Unless that's something that has changed since the last time I played. That is going to be the disclaimer on almost everything I say. It has been long enough since I played this regularly that there are undoubtedly some things changed. So until I discover that on my own, or somebody corrects me in the comments, my information is going to be slightly outdated. Doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong, because it might still be totally accurate. But it could be outdated. So, cut down the next tree. So, cutting down the trees and stuff gives us the exertion, where we are, being, physically exerting ourselves. It is getting harder to continue to do things. The act of foraging makes us tired as opposed to exerted. So, I suppose if there's a tile that will allow me to forage close enough, I could, if I wake up in the middle of the night again, go forage a whole bunch till I'm tired again, then go back to sleep. It's a viable thing. But unfortunately, without having a watch, it's really difficult to put yourself on a schedule, which is one of the things that's kind of important in this game. You want to be active during the day and asleep at night. For visibility's sake, if nothing else. But it is always one of those things where the temperature goes up during the day, goes down at night. Most of the year, it's fine. So during the day, it is absolutely fine in what am I doing? All right, during the day, it is fine for most of the year, like fall, winter, or fall, spring, and even winter. It is generally okay to be out and about during the day. Summer, you start getting this like unpleasantly hot, extremely hot, etc. during the day, but it only affects you so much. So long as you're being relatively smart about things, you're going to be fine. During the winter and the fall and the spring, it gets particularly cold at night. So you don't really want to be going out at night in any time except for the summer. And since the summer's daytime is not too terrible, you generally just want to stick to, leaving the house during the day. Don't want to screw up too much stuff at night. So at some point we're going to make a big old bonfire with these bodies. Because they're just going to sit there otherwise. Like, literally nothing happens unless you do it. Okay, let's see about trying to put some of those away. Yep, alright. And once again, back over this way. We should probably also check on our carpentry skill. Slowly advancing. We're probably going to get there about the time we finish this wall. Actually, we might get there before we finish this wall. Log wall, rotate it that way, put it in place. Excellent. All right. Rinse, repeat, over and over. I'm gonna go walk back. You know what? We could probably grab some of these trees. These would be acceptable. Let's cut down some of these trees. And I don't see where that log went. Logs? Anywhere? Don't see them. But I do hear zombies. Which is not a good sign. I actually did want to also check on our blade skill. Okay. That's advancing. Slowly. But it is advancing. Alright, so we've got zombies incoming again. Let's swap back to our baseball bat so that we're not using up durability on our axe. Since we're not particularly keen on replacing that soon. And, we're only going to get so much repair out of it, especially when we don't have our maintenance skill for that up. Alright, so we just basically attracted a bunch of zombies from the other side of the wall. Premium tech walkie-talkie. Don't particularly need that. We'll loot everything off of the zombies before we burn them. But for now, it's fine to just leave it where they are. Come on, go down! Okay, that one's not going down. And we have gotten to the point where Alright, we're going to have to switch back to the axe just to be able to handle the number of zombies that we have here. Alright. Oh, and back off, back off, back off. You don't want to get hurt. Last thing we want is to be bitten by a zombie. Yes, we are terrified, I know. Alright. Come on, guys. Some of you are faster than others. So you are inflicting damage on them, like, no matter what. So it's not too bad when you don't have time to take them out when they're down, but it's still better to take them out when they're down. Come on. It does start to become a bit of a chore doing this more than anything else. Come on. Oh! That's bad. We just took damage. Oh, we're scratched. And I'm... Alright, alright. It's fine. It's just a scratch. Just a scratch. Come on, guys. What the heck? Alright, we're down a zombie. We're down another zombie. Come on. Come on. Get. Alright, down another one. Come on, go down. Is that all of them? Alright, that seems to be all of them. Now what we're going to do here is pop indoors. Just so we don't get interrupted during all this. And what we're going to do is we're going to disinfect a rag. And we are going to disinfect our wound. And then we are going to bandage it with a sterilized rag. There are better medical options, but that right there is about the best you're going to be able to expect at any random given time. So there is a very, very small chance that our game is now over. Zombie scratches can infect you with the zombie virus, but it is a very small chance, whereas bites are almost certain. So we're going to have to just kind of keep an eye on things for a bit and hope. So we're going to rest. I do really wish they would put in some, like, sitting animations, but obviously they're working on core features a bit more than, you know, a sitting animation, which is fine. It's for the betterment of the game, after all. This is still technically a early access game, even though it's been around for, I want to say, going on 2 years at this point. But let's see. So we're tired. We're a bit hungry. How are we doing on... Right, we don't have any of the logs on us because I couldn't find those right away. And then we were interrupted by zombies. So as you can see, our axe is not doing well. We're over halfway through the condition on our axe. Not great. I mean, just really not great. And our actual skill with, because it's considered a blade, we're not doing great. I'd really like to have us to maintenance 1 before we have to actually, like, repair it. Because you can repair items in this game. It's just a chore. Because you use up other resources. You only repair it as much as, you know, you're able to with your skill. And on top of all that, there's only so many times a certain item can be repaired. All right, let's see how we're doing. All right, so it looks like it's in the evening now. So I think we're gonna try... Yeah, we're gonna try and get one more wall section built, and then we'll go to bed. We are actually hungry right now. Alright, so I couldn't find those logs. I'll probably find them later. Let's cut down a tree. Although I'm now in the woods. Oop, okay, let's put those logs in there. And get out of this thing that is blocking all of my view. Alright. And we're going to meander over to where we're going to use it. Because that looks like, what, maybe 3 or 4 more wall sections before we're, you know, all set there. Alright, we'll drop those on the ground. Hop back over, cut down one more tree. Should probably see about some food. Nope, Come on, is that not? Oh, that's a bush. That's why. All right. Where are you going? Oh, that must be on the other side of the... Yeah, we'll let you do some stupid things like that. Look at that. I'm, like, in the middle of the thing here. Alright, into the bag you go. Alright, pop on out. I wonder how's my... I thought there was a medicine skill. Oh, first aid, there it is. Yeah, and I've got the multiplier, so... that's the funny thing about that one particular skill is... so you all really want the multiplier because there's not often you're going to be able to use it and continue playing the game. For the most part, medicine is don't get hurt. Which, you know, considering it's the post-apocalypse and most people are here by themselves and zombie bites are so deadly, that's about all we got really, you know, stuff for. I mean, it's not great. If you get hurt, you're pretty much dead. All right, so we're going to fill up our water bottle just to make sure it stays topped up while we have water here. I'm not too concerned about the utilities being shut off just yet, but they will die eventually. So we're going to pop over here, and we are going to sleep. Oh, no, wait a minute. I was going to eat first. So we're going to pop over here, and we're going to find something to eat. How about just some... just eat a bar chocolate. It'll take the edge off. There we go. So we ate a bar of chocolate. And now we're going to sleep. Alright, so this is still going. But we're going to call it here. This is the episode. We've made some progress on our base. Killed more zombies. It's slow going right now. That's this stage of the game is a bit slow going. So, turn around. We'll pause up. And until next time, have a good one.